Welcome to the Belfry and Week 8 on the American Golf Championship Tour as we continue to follow the fortunes of this year's grand finalists here on Sky Sports. So far this season, we've crowned champions in 15 different categories on one of the most diverse golf tours on the planet, from juniors to seniors, and from long drive to adventure golf. Last week in the 9-hole individual championship, Steve Holmes claimed the title, the trophy, and his place in the Tournament of Champions in Mauritius, joining all of our winners so far this season on the American Golf Championship Tour Honours Board. This week, the ever-popular 9-hole pairs event takes centre stage as the grand finalists are here at the Belfry to battle it out for the title in our penultimate event on the calendar, followed next week by the inaugural Scratch Championship as the elite amateurs join the tour. And then we'll finish the year with a chance to enjoy the best of the action in our pre-Christmas season review. The 9-hole pairs championship has always delivered some great action. In 2015, Luke Eustace and Mark Kelly took the inaugural trophy when they beat the Ruddle brothers in a cracking final. Last year, Mark and Luke relinquished the title though when Tom Muldoon and Kevin Commins took top honours, beating father and son team Steve and James Hodgson at the 18th to finish another entertaining tournament. And this year we're looking forward to some more great action in this hotly contested category. Before we get to round one though, let's hear from American Golf Events Director Matt Bacon.
I'm really looking forward to the 9-hole pairs events this year because we've put more on this year to try and get more people involved and playing. So we've got some great competitors and we've got some great characters, so I'm really looking forward to this year's events. Some 9-hole pairs you'll find are friends, some are family, some guys are more structured in respect of high handicapper playing with a low handicapper. So if one of them doesn't come in on a hole, the other one's got a chance to. So there's a lot of thinking and a lot of planning that goes into these pairs. Here's a good question for the viewers. If you had the chance to play in the 9-hole pairs, who would you choose? I think I'd choose our tour announcer, Jeff Swain. I think we'd have some great banter and some good fun shots out there on the course, and he'd keep me relaxed as well. The American Golf Tour, we were one of the first to introduce the 9-hole element. The beauty about the 9 holes is it takes half the time and it gives you a chance to have a bite to eat and a drink and a catch-up socially. It doesn't really matter how many holes you play, as long as you're out there playing golf.
And this is the format for the grand final of the 9-hole pairs championship. The teams play 3 rounds of 9 holes with Stableford scoring off 9/10 of their handicap. And after that qualification phase, the top 4 pairs go through to a final day and the knockout match play semi-finals and finals played on the Brabazon. Time now to head to the first tee on the PGA National Course now though, where Gemma Kerr is with some of the players.
We met at Pile & Kenfig probably 18 years ago, and we were at loose ends and we decided to pair up, and we've been pairs in every competition we've entered in for all those years.
All those years, and this is the first final we've ever got to, and we're absolutely delighted.
Yeah.
Introduce me to your pairing, to your team.
It's a new thing this season. We just a text message really, wasn't it?
Yeah. I only joined the club a year ago. Only met Andy a few months ago, and he texted me one night and said, "You fancy joining in this American Golf?"
And here you are.
And here we are. I just said to him before, I said, who'd have thought a text like that would have ended up here?
Brian Campbell, 32, in Westerwood Golf Club.
Paul Ferguson, 38, in Westerwood Golf Club.
You're laughing.
Well, I think I'm 38, put it that way. I've been told.
He was 38 and he was 34.
No, 46.
And have you done any training or any practice ahead of time?
I'm an athlete. Look at me, I train all the time. I was in the pool today. No.
What about no?
We used to work together, so we started playing golf. He went to Australia for a year, and then when he came back we started playing together again and just found a rhythm, and we've worked well together. He goes for it, I sort of hold back, and it just works well.
Just hope I don't shank it off the first.
How does it feel to be here at the Belfry today?
Amazing.
Yeah, it's been a brilliant experience so far.
Yeah, the course looks immaculate, and the way we've been treated already, it's second to none.
What do you both do when you're not playing golf?
Watch Manchester United, follow them around the country.
That's it. Football mad.
Yep, and work, golf and football.
Excited and nervous.
Nervous, yeah.
He's a lower handicapper than me, so...
And I rely on his bandit.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about what you're wearing. I can see that you're coordinated.
In memorial of a friend of ours who died of cancer, every year we go to France, and we call ourselves the Euro Tour, and we will meet up once a year out of respect for Mickey Clark, who's a good friend of ours, so yeah, that's where that comes from.
And these T-shirts are in memory of that?
Exactly, yeah.
And in actual fact, we met Mickey Clark here in the Belfry about 37 years ago.
Oh, wow.
First time we met him.
Yeah.
What's the dynamic like between you both on the course?
I'm the chilled out one and he's the uptight one.
This remains to be seen.
Yeah, I'd say Des is more the steady player, and I like to hit a long ball, but not always straight.
Yes.
Seems to work out between.
We do shout for a lot when John's playing.
I think we're both totally different, to be honest with you. Dafydd's more of a quiet, in the zone kind of guy, and I'm just, nothing seems to faze me type thing, but it's just, we're kind of different.
We played in this last year, so I think the experience of playing here last year will hopefully stand to us this year and might make the top 4 this year is the plan.
Can you give me a little bit of a recap?
We came joint 4th, but we lost in the count back, so very close to getting in. So we've scored to settle, I think, this year, hopefully. So.
I blame him for everything.
And I blame him.
That sounds like a recipe for arguments.
No, it's a good laugh. It's a good laugh. I wouldn't like to tell you what I call him on the golf course. And half the time I can't find him, look the size of him.
You almost feel kind of like a pro with the cameras around and so many people watching, so it's a good day to be here. Yeah.
Do you have any expectations for the tournament?
Pick up the points.
Pick up the points. And what are the points, mate?
Prizes.
That's
really cheesy, that was. That was really bad.
Yeah, do something funny.
No, I love it.
In breezy conditions on the PGA National, there was still some solid scoring in the first round, with a total of 9 pairs going under the card in terms of their Stableford points. 5 of those teams sharing the top 4 qualification places by the end of the day. Tied 4th on 20 points were 2 teams. Neil Fox and Dafydd Evans had a good round, and yes, I agree, the similarity really is uncanny. Dafydd here does look like Luke Donald. Sharing 4th, the sartorial elegance of Chris Whitehead and the more traditional stylings of teammate Carl Greenwood also managed a solid 20-point first round. The lead, though, was shared by 3 teams on 21 points. The Westerwood pairing of Brian Campbell and Paul Ferguson were enjoying their trip south of the border while staying north of the top 4 cut. Chase Golf Club pair Alan Grave and Steve Littlewood also had a good day to tie for the lead. And the 3-way share of top spot was completed by the Wortley Golf Club pairing of Howard Burton and Paul Hutton, who dovetailed very well indeed on the opening 9, executing their revolutionary game plan to perfection. When one player came in on a hole, the other made sure he also came in on the same hole. Clever. But it certainly worked, and come the end of an entertaining first round, the leaderboard was impressively numbered. 4 teams on 19, a point off that leading group in the qualification zone, leaving those currently in that top 4 knowing that on day 2 they'll need to keep scoring solidly with no room for a poor round, or a place in the match play finals on the last day would be in jeopardy. It is a characteristic, however, that teams do move into and out of top 4 contention over the 3 9-hole rounds, and that's exactly what happened on moving morning, as the start of day 2 is known. A superb 23-point round from Stephen Hellis and Curtis Cole saw the Ragbarn pair move into top gear to take a share of the lead. Co-leaders with Paul Hutton and Howard Burton, who made it back-to-back 21-pointers. Paul Hutton proving that bears really do sometimes play golf in the woods. Once again, though, the pair got themselves out of any serious trouble to wave all but Hellis and Cole cheerio on the way to the top of the tree. Whitehead and Greenwood came in with another cracking score to occupy 3rd place by themselves on 41 points, leaving Fox and Evans alongside Grave and Littlewood just keeping their noses ahead of the pack in on 39 points after 18 holes and within touching distance of making the final day. And this is how it finished after round 3. 4 teams managed to pull away from the rest. Hutton and Burton had a 17-point hiccup, but they made it in on 59 points as 4th seeds. Chris Whitehead's outrageous outfits seemed to do the trick on day 2 for he and Carl Greenwood. Some steady golf and a very strong finish made it 3 rounds in the 20s for a stylish qualification in 3rd place. Saving the best until last, Scott Nixon and Ross Holmes brought their A-game on the back 9 of the Brabazon to equal HELLIS and Cole's round 2, 23 points. Qualification confirmed as second seeds. Game faces on for the match play final day. But continuing their great run of form on day 2, Stephen HELLIS and Curtis Cole had another terrific 9 holes, making sure that if one of them messed up, the other one made the points. Following their 23-point second 9 with a superb 21-pointer final round to guarantee qualification as the number 1 seeds on 63 points, 2 clear of Holmes and Nixon. And that means we've got some fantastic match play semi-final action for you. Top seeds Cole and HELLIS take on 4th seeds Hutton and Burton, while 2nd seeds Holmes and Nixon play 3rd seeds Whitehead and Greenwood for a place in the American Golf 9-hole pairs championship final. And it's all coming up after the break here on Sky Sports. Welcome back to the Belfry. It's time to head into the last day of action at the American Golf 9-hole pairs championship, and we've got 2 fantastic knockout match play semi-finals for you. The top 4 teams have made it through from the first 2 days of competition, and number 1 seeds HELLIS and Cole will take on 4th seeds Hutton and Burton in semi-final 1. Then number 2 seeds Holmes and Nixon meet 3rd seeds Whitehead and Greenwood in what should be 2 cracking matches. Gemma Kerr is with the players at the first tee.
How does it feel to have made it to this stage?
Yeah, we're buzzing, over the moon. Didn't think we'd get this far, but over the moon.
And what's your game plan for today?
Just same again, just keep plodding and he'll keep going for it, and we just work well together, so we'll just try and do our best.
We're here at the Belfry. You've made it through to the semi-finals. How does that feel?
Good. We've come last year, we didn't get through. This year we wanted to get through to the last 4 at least. So.
And how's the experience been for you so far?
It's been great. Again, really enjoyed it this weekend. Again, same as last time. Really well-run event. Everybody's really nice. Met some nice people. It's good.
And can I get some fighting talk ahead of your go on the course?
I'm just going to crush him.
Jugular.
Fighting talk from the Wortley Golf Club boys, but they knew they were heading into a battle. There was plenty of anticipation around both semi-finals, but this one looked like it could go either way. It was a nervy start to the first hole though, with immediate pressure on the short games of both teams. The beauty of pairs golf, one player can go for it, the other one can be the anchor, the plodder, which is generally Stephen HELLIS's role, but the 20 handicapper here is the go-to man at this hole. 2 putts to win it, there's the first of them. And he'll be forced to make that putt if Paul Hutton can hole out, and Hutton's had his problems here as well at the first. Good strike, coming down the hill to this hole. It's a good effort. What a good effort from Paul Hutton, but rather forlornly wanders towards this tap-in. Not conceded, interestingly, but tapped in. And now a nervous wait for both Hutton and Burton, because HELLIS basically has 2 putts from here to take he and Curtis Cole 1 up in this match. No, but if you've got 2, take 2. No damage done. So HELLIS and Cole with an early breakthrough, which they look determined to consolidate as they settled into their game plan at the second. Curtis Cole, the man who was going for it, as instructed by partner Stephen HELLIS, and the 12 handicapper left himself with a chance to win the hole after this fantastic approach. You know the drill in match play though, if you earn yourself chances, you have to take them. And Curtis didn't do that, leaving their opponents with a chance for a half. Taken confidently by Paul Hutton, and off to hole 3 with HELLIS and Cole, still 1 up. At the 501-yard par 5 third, 5 handicapper Howard Burton had the best of the approaches, across the water and onto the green in regulation, and the pressure was on for HELLIS and Cole. Stephen found himself in the bunker while Curtis put his second shot in the water, meaning the leaders were faced with a scramble to stay in the hole. Hasn't played that much golf coming into this tournament, Curtis Cole, so said he felt very rusty on the first 2 days. But looks like he's come back into some good form here on the final day. And I know he put his second shot into the drink, but what a recovery. Beautiful shot into the heart of this third green. And that is a confident stride from Curtis Cole. But the drama not over yet, because Howard Burton has an outside chance to win it, to square the match. And that isn't going to drop. Little debate there between Curtis and Stephen about whether to give Howard the follow-up putt, and that is conceded. Paul Hutton quite close to the hole anyway, and that putt has been conceded as well. So Curtis Cole here backing himself to make the half and stay one up. Brave decision, and a good save to retain the lead. On to the fourth, another hole that demands an approach over water to the green at the end of the 389-yard stroke index 3 test, which Curtis Cole found an inventive answer to, taking the water out of the equation by going to the back of the sloping green and inviting the spin to roll it gently back towards the flag to join Howard Burton's ball on the green. But with a shot at this hole, Curtis's putt was for the win. Very good course management from Curtis Cole, good knowledge of the shots at his disposal. Can he drop this in? Looks good, looks good. Oh, and there it is. An alarming development for Hutton and Burton. Suddenly 2 down after 4 and struggling to really get going in this semi-final. Conversely, HELLIS and Cole with something to defend, heading to 5. At the 359-yard par 4 fifth, another lovely approach from Curtis put their opponents on the back foot once again. Paul Hutton, who laid up short of the sand, had to respond with the wedge. And he responded well, proving that there are times when a horseshoe on a golf course can be positive. Big horse though. The hole was still HELLIS and Cole's to lose, with not 1 but 2 potential chances to go 3 up. Curtis squandered the first one. And then Stephen raced his putt past, leaving their opponents with a chance to save the hole with a half. Well, this hole not over and done with by any means. HELLIS and Cole can still win it. But a couple of minutes ago, Paul Hutton and Howard Burton were completely out of this and looking at 3 down. So a tremendously important putt from Paul Hutton. He's done it again. Well, not for the first time on this final day. Paul Hutton has found a very good putt when his team has most needed it. And that puts all sorts of pressure on this one from Stephen HELLIS, and how he will be wishing now that he hadn't raced it all the way past the hole. It's a relatively straight putt coming back up the green, but from a much bigger distance than it needed to be. This then to go 3 up. Oh, and a chance to punish their opponents and put themselves out of sight, not taken. And that half at 5 seemed to lift the spirits of Hutton and Burton, and they found themselves with an outside chance at 6 as the short games once again came into sharp focus. Tit for tat chips in this match play semi-final, and so that means it's all coming down to the putts once again. Paul Hutton has been pretty deadly from this distance, but misses on the low side. Putt not conceded, and Howard Burton doesn't want to watch. He's marking a new ball up, having stuck his in the water here at 6. Nick Bowen and Andy Langley knocked out of the tournament yesterday, but they're caddying for their Wortley Golf Club teammates today. No, a putt from HELLIS. I think where the ball is positioned for Hutton was effectively for a half. But he's missed that opportunity, and we might get a change here in the scoreline in favour of Hutton and Burton. And it's down to Paul Hutton to make the putt to reduce the lead. A bit of a gift, that one, but they all count, and finally there was something for Hutton and Burton to celebrate in this match as they clawed one back, heading to the par 3 7th, where some pressure putts look likely to once again influence the direction of this semi-final. Interesting mindset here for Howard Burton. He'll want to hole it, but he doesn't want to do anything silly. Oh, and hole it he does. Well, that's one way to sort it out. Any dilemma negotiated by draining it. And the reason for his concern, if he had missed it by quite a distance, is because Stephen HELLIS is hovering. But now, Stephen HELLIS's putt is not for the win, it's for the half, and that changes everything. Nerve held by the 20 handicapper to make sure the slender lead remained intact, heading to 8. The 409-yard par 4 8th with water to the left of the fairway was negotiated well enough by both pairs, but HELLIS and Cole were left with a long putt to guarantee their lead down the last. Curtis Cole puzzled by the line and frustrated at leaving Hutton and Burton with a shot at levelling the match. A chance that was left to the impassive Hutton, who rolled it in to go all square, much to the delight of teammate Howard Burton. At the last, having seen their 2-hole lead disappear, the wheels came off for Stephen HELLIS and Curtis Cole, leaving Paul Hutton licking his lips at the prospect of an up and down for the win. The up was nice enough, but the down looked like it was going to be a tester for the big man, and he knew it. Plenty of head scratching and plenty of discussion between HELLIS and Cole, wondering where it all went wrong at the 9th. They're not out of it yet, but Paul Hutton has got another chance here to change the course of this semi-final. This then to win the match and take a place in the final. 2 tough putts holed by Paul Hutton at 8 and then 9 to turn this semi-final on its head, and confirmation that from 2 down the Wortley Golf Club pair recover the situation to book their place in the American Golf 9-hole pairs championship final. And so to semi-final 2 as second seeds Holmes and Nixon take on third seeds Whitehead and Greenwood. Gemma Kerr spoke to the teams, and close your eyes and listen to the first player, Scott Nixon, who sounds uncannily like Jamie Redknapp's dad, Harry.
So how does it feel to have made it this far?
Yeah, we've played well. I mean, we've tried to keep ourselves in it over the 2 days. And yesterday we needed a big day and we managed to get the points we needed to qualify to the Saturday.
I haven't played the best golf at times. Scott did really well yesterday, had a good round, so hopefully I can help him out a bit more today and see how it goes.
And what is the game plan for today?
Just try to play well, enjoy ourselves, see what happens.
Here we are at the Belfry, semi-finals. How does it feel to have got to this stage?
Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I've been buzzing since I got here. The atmosphere is absolutely electric. Driving in here just gives you goose pimples. And to be in this position right now is very, very special.
And tell me, what is the game plan for today?
Well, I'm going to go for it. Carl's going to be steady-headed.
I've got the boring colours and Chris has got the lively colours, so Chris is the man.
Talk me through today's outfit.
Well, I'm supporting Coldwell Children's Charity, which is for people that are, or for children that are less fortunate than ourselves, and that also gives me inspiration to be able to do this today.
Brilliant, thank you very much.
Thank you.
The opening hole of this second semi-final encounter set the tone for the match. Ross Holmes holing out nicely to force Carl Greenwood into action to putt for a half and give us our first look at one of the most unusual putting strokes you'll see on TV this year. Carl virtually turning a regular length club into a belly putter to make the half. Off to the second, all square. Carl Greenwood found the putting surface at the 321-yard par 4 second with a lovely approach to set up a genuine hole-winning opportunity. The follow-up putt wasn't bad either, decent weight, but just didn't read the line. Hole halved and off to the third, still all square. At 3, 6 handicapper Ross Holmes came to the party with a lovely approach across the water to leave an uphill putt. Great course management from the Fulford Heath clubman, but in the end, irrelevant. He didn't make the putt and it was left to Carl Greenwood, followed by Scott Nixon to share the hole from short range. At the fourth, Ross continued his purple patch of form with another sublime approach for a cast iron opportunity to go one up. But this great game can move from the sublime to the ridiculous in the blink of an eye. Ouch. At 5, it was Chris Whitehead's turn to make a bigger impression than his trousers to take he and Carl Greenwood into the lead. Trousers 1, Chris 0. A golden chance slipped away, and like Greta Garbo, Mr. Whitehead needed a moment to himself after that miss. Composure recovered and off to 6, all square, where Scott Nixon was required to make this putt to keep the status quo. And yes, you know what's coming, he was rocking all over the world after that one. Well, off to 7, all square anyway. At the par 3 7th, both Chris Whitehead and this man Carl Greenwood hit the dance floor with a couple of solid tee shots, leaving Holmes and Nixon scrambling. They scrambled well though, Ross making this up and down to at least ask the question. Chris didn't have the answer and missed his putt, so it was down to Carl to hole out for one up. But it stayed above ground for all square. With the tension growing from hole to hole, it was clear that someone was going to need to step up to the mark to win this match. Cue Scott Nixon. A solid approach from the 11 handicapper, but with the others making hard work of the 8th, it was an outside chance. There are still a number of possible outcomes at 8, but Scott Nixon has the first chance to snatch the hole away from opponents Whitehead and Greenwood. What a putt, and the Fulford Heath pair danced their way to the win after a messy half at the last, so the lineup for the decider is confirmed. Number 2 seeds Holmes and Nixon play 4th seeds Hutton and Burton for the title. The iconic 10th on the Brabazon awaits the players. Action from the American Golf 9-hole pairs championship final coming up after the break, right here on Sky Sports. Welcome back to the Belfry. We're down to our last 2 teams in the American Golf 9-hole pairs championship, and it's time to head on to the back 9 of the Brabazon for the match play final to decide who goes to Mauritius for the Tournament of Champions. And this is the lineup. The losing teams from the semi-finals, Cole and Hellis versus Whitehead and Greenwood, play off for 3rd place. But we'll be focusing on the final as Holmes and Nixon take on Hutton and Burton for the title. The iconic 10th hole on the Brabazon awaits the teams. Gemma Kerr spoke to the players.
Tell me how you guys are feeling, because you must be ecstatic through to the finals.
Yeah, we've made up. Yeah, it's been brilliant. We never thought we'd get this far, to be honest with you. We've thought we've been playing okay, haven't we?
Yeah, we've had a good year. I've had a good year, but struggled a little bit the last couple of days, but hopefully turn the corner now, get into the final and lift the trophy, hopefully, but we'll see.
So let's talk about the finals. What are your thoughts? Do you know who your opponents are yet? What are you thinking?
I'm not really bothered about the opponent. We just got to play our own game and see how things come.
All right, well, best of luck. Play well.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thank you.
Just adrenaline. Simply. I could have cried that last hole. I don't know what it is. It's so many emotions coming out.
And what does it feel like to be through to the final here at the Belfry?
Well, if it just touched my heart, you can feel it beating. It's just phenomenal. And match 9 holes, you've just got to make a great start and keep going, and just unbelievable, isn't it?
We hung in there, didn't we? That's what we did. We hung in there until we got chances, and we took them.
Brilliant. Well, congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well done, pal.
Cheers. I could be on screen.
Yeah.
You will be.
Out onto the course and playing golf for the big prize in front of the cameras. All 4 players still in the hole after their tee shots, and 13 handicapper Paul Hutton hit the heart of the green. That required the opposition to respond in kind. 6 handicapper Ross Holmes was best placed to do that. Game on. Well, this has all the ingredients, this match, to be one of the best finals that we've ever seen on the American Golf Championship Tour. Can Paul Hutton get us off to a blazing start? A fine approach from him, but a very tough long putt. It's not a bad effort, and it's certainly positioned the ball nicely, because Ross Holmes has got a very similar putt to follow, so he'll have a slight benefit of a read there. But this is going to be tough pace-wise. And he's hit this quite hard. And it's racing by. Oh dear. Well, Ross Holmes knows the door is open here. And Paul Hutton, who's been knocking these in for fun for the last 3 days, has got a chance to put his team into the lead. In it goes. There's still a long way to go in this final, but a wry smile from Paul Hutton confirmed he was delighted with that start. Hutton and Burton, one up. At the 372-yard par 4 11th, the signs were all there that this was going to be a high-quality final. Scott Nixon holding out for a par to force Howard Burton into action with a tricky putt for the half. Well holed by 5 handicapper Howard, their lead preserved with the par 3 12th next up. Over the water to the green, always opportunities for drama at this hole, especially in match play. 3 good tee shots so far, and Ross Holmes fancies his chances here, going with the rescue at this 179-yard par 3 12th, and this looks good. Oh, it's just caught the top of the bank. Back it comes, all the way down the slope, and that is a ridiculously good tee shot from Holmes. He'll be more than happy to tell the rest of the players how he did it. Yeah, you see, just pitched it in, caught the bank, back it came. But Paul Hutton can once again spoil the party. Got a shot at this hole. So after his tee shot, he can win it with this putt. Not going to happen, but that's provided both he and Howard Burton with some insurance here. One up in this match, and it's looking good to stay like that, despite the efforts, terrific efforts, of Ross Holmes. Howard Burton then to just take a bit of pressure off Paul Hutton if he can roll this up the hill and in. And he can't. Thought that was just going to sneak back and into the hole, but it stayed straight. So first opportunity to preserve their one-up lead missed. But Paul Hutton still has a chance to do that. And it all hinges on what Ross Holmes does with this putt. A lot of pressure on this putt. And that is a really good birdie from Ross Holmes. What a fantastic way to play this 12th. But it might all be for nothing. And that's because this man, Paul Hutton, still has a putt for a half. Tough break for Holmes and Nixon, but Paul Hutton taking his chances to keep the lead in this final for he and Howard Burton. Still one up, heading down the 13th, where once again they were in another sticky position. Destiny removed from their hands though this time around. Ross Holmes with a putt to go all square. But a cruel break to the right at the end of the roll took the ball wide. A tough one to take for Ross. Hutton and Burton marched to the par 3 14th with their lead still intact. The last of the par 3s on the Brabazon, the 14th, 166 yards, and the kind of hole that tends to inspire the swashbuckling partner in the team to go for it. Howard Burton then, tactically, he wants to put this on the green, get it in play, encourage Paul Hutton to really go for it. Quite a strong breeze blowing from right to left as the players look at this green. You can see the flag moving, and the ball has moved in that direction, and that's a very nice shot from Burton. So playing partner Paul Hutton now has free rein to really go for this. And he's tried to hold that up into the breeze and just chop that off a little short into the front of the green. But both Hutton and Burton in play at the par 3 14th. Now Nixon has been a little bit quiet in this final so far. Oh, and this one's going to move a long way from right to left, and the bank just catching it. So actually that hasn't worked out too badly, but it's put a lot of pressure on Ross Holmes, who really does need to find the green here with this tee shot. So he and Scott Nixon trail in this match, one down. Striking the ball well today though is Ross Holmes. This looks good. This is all over the flag. A televised hole-in-one on the Brabazon, and it goes to Ross Holmes, who has the perfect answer for getting back into this match. Take the putter out of the equation. The last tee shot of the group, and in the most dramatic way possible, Holmes and NIXON take this final back to all square with 4 to play. At the 488-yard par 5 15th, the boys went pin hunting into the diamond-shaped undulating green. Paul Hutton, in a bit of trouble with his second, had already blown the shot he was receiving at this hole and needed to find his very best with teammate Howard out of contention. And he found the top tier to throw down the Wortley Golf Club gauntlet once again, which Ross Holmes, still buzzing from that ace, couldn't quite counter, leaving himself with a tricky putt up the slope after this approach. From the back of the green though, Scott Nixon, like Hutton receiving a shot at this hole, kept himself in the mix with a canny chip. Back to watching the action for Burton and Hutton, and Ross Holmes knew that he really needed to hold this putt to support Scott. Cruel again with his first putt since he skirted the other side of the hole back at 13. But as he wandered through to pick the ball up, the smile was hiding the fact that he and Scott knew they might still be denied. And all they could do was watch and wait. But Paul Hutton's uncharacteristic miss handed them an unexpected chance. Scott Nixon then into the frame with this putt to take the lead for the first time in the final. A rock-solid blow from Holmes and Nixon that had Hutton and Burton reeling as the teams headed to the 16th tee, and another dramatic development in this final after that ace at 14 from Ross Holmes changed everything. The closing action from the American Golf 9-Hole Pairs Championship coming up after the break, right here on Sky Sports. Welcome back to a cracking American Golf 9-Hole Pairs Championship final. Just before the break, Ross Holmes turned this match around with an ace at 14, followed by teammate Scott Nixon holing out to win the 15th. And for the first time in this final, Paul Hutton and Howard Burton find themselves behind. One down with 3 to play, heading down the 371-yard par 4 16th. The players then trying to get to that heart-shaped green nestled in amongst the trees here at the Belfry. Paul Hutton got there with a slightly fortuitous kick off the bank, but they all count however you get there, and a chance to hit back immediately was further enhanced when his teammate Howard Burton also kicked onto the green. They had the flag surrounded. Well, a chance to get our breath back as the players walked up to the green. This has been such an entertaining final, excitement all the way, and it is still perfectly poised. Burton doesn't take the first opportunity to square the match, but that putt will be conceded. And that means that Ross Holmes now is faced with probably his biggest putt of the tournament, if he wants to maintain the lead heading to the next hole. So Holmes and Nixon one up, but Ross has this putt to stay in that position. Confident strike, and another one glides by. 2 fantastic steps forward for Holmes and Nixon at 14 and 15, but a very big step back at 16. Hutton and Burton win the hole to take this final back to all square with 2 to play. At the 530-yard par 5 17th, Holmes kept it together and plotted his way to the green. His delightful chip snuggling close to the pin, putting the pressure right back on Hutton and Burton. And here we go again with the drama, and it's there. Somebody just needs to reach out and grab this match by the scruff of the neck. Putt from Burton, nice pace, nice pace. Would you believe it? And that's what golf can do to you. Burton with a genuine look of anguish, followed by the desire to eat his putter. And that means that this putt from Ross Holmes takes on a new meaning. This is to win the hole and go back to 1 up in this match with 1 to play. Oh, and that has got to hurt. Holmes can't bear to watch. Still locked at all square, courtesy of a generous concession by Hutton and Burton on that 17th green. And off they go to the last with the trophy and that place at the Tournament of Champions in Mauritius, still very much up for grabs. So for the first time in this year's American Golf Championship Series, a match play final has made it all the way to the wonderful 418-yard par 4 18th hole on the Brabazon. All square going down the last then, with the players looking to position their tee shots for a go at this huge two-tier green, with today's pin on the top tier right at the back and tough to get to. Paul Hutton and playing partner Howard Burton have just been handed a golden opportunity here at 18, because Ross Holmes has stuck his approach in the water. And Paul Hutton is going to follow him. In it goes. Big splash then from Hutton. And Ross Holmes on hand to sympathise. Precarious position then for both teams, Holmes and Hutton out of the hole. And as we look at the 18th green, I can tell you Scott Nixon has gone into the bunker on the right-hand side, which means this man, Howard Burton, can be the only man on the dance floor in regulation. And he's done it. Terrific shot from Burton under pressure. And that means advantage to the Wortley Golf Club pair. Now, from the bunker, Scott Nixon did very well indeed. Great shot across the 18th, and from there, it means that he and Ross Holmes still have an outside chance to win this match. Howard Burton has played the 18th quite beautifully, but if he doesn't hole this, he knows that Scott Nixon has a putt for the title. It's a terrific effort. That really is a good putt. But the crowd now gathered round the back of the 18th to watch this drama unfold, because every putt is crucial from here in what has been the pick of the match play finals this season. Scott Nixon then with the big one, past the hole, and continues to roll, and that could be real trouble. Unlikely to influence the final from here, but Paul Hutton drained his putt for a bogey. And I wonder if he did that just to give Howard Burton a bit of encouragement. Look, there you go, easy as that. Biggest putt of Scott Nixon's season. If he holes it, then it could be the win, or it could be a playoff. Oh, he's missed it, and that brings the third part of the equation into play. That's the part that neither Scott Nixon or Ross Holmes wanted to think about. And it means that Howard Burton now has this putt for the title. It's a moment that most amateur golfers dream of, holding a putt on the 18th green of the Brabazon here at the Belfry to win a championship. No surprise to see some real emotion from Howard Burton as he and teammate Paul Hutton win the American Golf 9-hole pairs title. Cole and Hellis beat Whitehead and Greenwood 2-1 to take third place, but congratulations to Hutton and Burton. They've done it, coming through on the last green to take a thrilling final. Daniel Gathercole of American Golf presented Paul and Howard with their trophies. Gemma Kerr spoke to the winners.
Firstly, huge congratulations. You are our winners for today. How does that feel?
Brilliant, absolutely fantastic. Yeah, thank you.
Amazing. Just nothing else to say, just amazing. Sorry. Came last year and it was just fantastic. I mean, and then this year it's just exceeded all expectations, hasn't it?
Yeah, they're brilliant.
And what are your highlights?
As getting through semi-final this morning,
that was tough.
we were one down with two to play, and we won last two. We're stood here now. We're going to miss us. That's what happens.
Unbelievable. Isn't it? Yeah. Unbelievable, Jeff. I'd just like to say hello to Francesca and Luca.
And I'd like to say hello to Millie, Oliver and Susie. And Wortley Golf Club.
Yeah, Wortley Golf Club. I'll better send my wife Charlotte as well, because she'll kill me if not, won't she?
Don't forget the wife. All right, well, congratulations. Enjoy Mauritius.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Brilliant.
very much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Well done, boys. Thoroughly entertaining semi-final and final performances from Howard and Paul for a superb victory as they join all of our other season's winners on the Championship Tour Honours Board. And there's just room for one more name as we roll on to our final week of tournament golf on this year's calendar. Next week, the elite amateurs join the tour for the American Golf Scratch Championship, a fitting finale to this incredible season. That's all for today's show. Thanks for your company, and I hope you can join us next Tuesday evening for the inaugural Scratch Championship here at the Belfry. We'll see you then.